What's up guys, Rango to Mango 12 here, and sorry I haven't done these issues because I've been really busy, but now we're just going to go get straight into this issue, and it is Ultimate Death of Spider-Man, Death of Ultimate Spider-Man I should say, issue 156. Now the first thing you see is the cover, and in my opinion the cover is probably one of the best covers just because of like how his suit reflects like the light and stuff like that, and just like how vibrant the colours on his suit are. So, go into the first page, it's Marvel Comics proudly presents. And then some people talking. The death of Spider-Man. So here you just get some security guard who works for S.H.I.E.L.D. I cannot remember what her name is. She's basically reading the rights to Norman Osborn, who has been trapped, and I think he's naked there, I'm not sure. But he's being contained in a facility, and here he says that he thought he was dead. So basically this secret agent security woman or what have you is basically teasing him and saying how she'd like to shoot him and crap. So here we are. This is the page where it tells us what happened last time, and we already know that Spider-Man's undergoing a training thing so he can keep fighting crime, and he got back together with Mary Jane. So on to the first panel for the actual comic. We get Peter and Mary Jane basically talking about how J. Jonah Jameson knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and how he hasn't like outed them to the world yet, and that Peter has to trust him, that he's not going to like out him whatsoever, because he would have done it already. So here they're basically saying how they're both happy and how they can't think of the reason why they broke up together last time, and then their phone starts ringing on Peter's crappy Nokia phone. So Mary Jane says that, oh no, Pete says it's a 212 0000 number, and he says that he's not picking it up because it's a telemarketer. However, MJ says that they have a legal obligation to stop calling you if you tell them to stop calling you. But Pete says that he's not gonna give them the satisfaction to pick up. He's not going to give them the satisfaction. So basically, they're just both fighting over. Well, not fighting over the phone, but like messing about with the phone. Like, shall I answer it? Shall I not answer it? Shall I answer it? And then on this panel, we get someone stood out the window, and it actually turns out it's Captain America. But Peter doesn't know that yet, so when he answers the phone, Captain America just says, "Look out the window." And he turns around, and all of a sudden Captain America has blonde hair, because he didn't have blonde hair in the other panels, but here he does. So that's weird. So basically he's telling him to put on his Spidey costume and get to his training session at the cemetery. Ow, crap, I just hit my knee. So Pete and MJ basically debating whether it is Captain America or not, and Pete obviously knows it's Captain America, so he's got to apologise to MJ again, and then they say I love you to each other, and then back to the Triskelion substructure where Norman Osborn is, and he's being held by S.H.I.E.L.D. in some sort of awesome jail container thing, and he's talking to some people about how he used to be the boss of this industry and all this. He's on about how that blonde girl, secret agent, whatever, wants his soul and his body and all this, and yeah, and then we move on to where the security woman, I cannot remember her name, so I'm just going to have to refer to her as the security woman, is saying that she wants Norman to go to hell, and that she'd be happy if she never heard his voice again, and this is where she's talking to all the Avengers and stuff. And then Norman Osborn gets kind of pissed off, and he basically breaks out of S.H.I.E.L.D. And here you see him turn into the Green Goblin with all his fire around him. and then you get this awesome screen panel, so sick, and everybody's panicking, and then Shield basically goes to black and nothing's there, and then we come down to the next panel and there is. Remember, nobody knew that Norman Osborn was still alive, so obviously Shield did, but this guy in the suit here is like, that's Osborn, you know what I mean? Like, so these guys probably, not probably, are threatening to shoot him, and Norman Osborn saying that he's never been so close to God on the journey he's been on, which is kind of sad, really. So he kills these guards and sets them on fire and causes an explosion. Now this is an awesome shot of Green Goblin. Look at it. And he actually frees from S.H.I.E.L.D. Electro, Kraven, Sandman, Dr. Octopus, and the Vulture. So basically the Sinister Six. So all these guys are all like freed out of jail and stuff, out of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then we come out to the outside of the Triskelion, where you get Green Goblin jumping and exploding and everything out of the thing, crashes into the ground, and they steal a helicopter because Electro actually was in the Air Force or something like that. So he knows how to fly this helicopter. So they fly off, and then we go back to Spider-Man and Captain America. And Captain America takes him to a graveyard to let him know that he is a soldier and that they are all going to be in this graveyard soon. Like, because obviously they're all going to die soon, like old age or just dying from death or whatever, getting shot or something. Captain America's trying to get the point across that the world needs soldiers and that they've faced life and death for this country since before there was this country. And Captain America's telling Spider-Man that he is technically a soldier, even though he doesn't see himself as one, because he puts on a uniform and he fights people. So that's basically a soldier. And then Captain America goes on to the voting thing about where Iron Man and Thor gave the thumbs up and Captain America didn't. So this is why Captain America this is why Spider-Man has to be taught by Captain America and Iron Man and all this. And Captain America basically says that there's two ways to fight people. One is a smart and courageous way, and the other is immature and foolish. Because they're all going to end up in the graveyard eventually, it is Spider-Man's responsibility to make sure and listen that it is the most important thing. And then Captain America basically gets some sort of not phone call, he like gets communication from S.H.I.E.L.D. and he finds out that there's been a security break at Triskelion, and Captain America is pretty much like, shit, we had a security break at Triskelion. So Fury's Black Ops team has gone rogue in the city, and Captain America has been told to ditch Spider-Man and get on his bike and drive off and just leave Spider-Man in the middle of a graveyard. But as we all know, Spider-Man doesn't take that sort of stuff, and he follows people, which is retarded. And then we go back to, where are we? I don't know where we are, but anyway. So we go back to where Norman Osborn and the Sinister Six and all that have come, and basically Sandman put a sand wall around the city so that so that the witnesses couldn't see like what they were doing. But when the sand wall went down, they were gone. So now S.H.I.E.L.D. is interviewing civilians and witnesses and seeing what's going on. And then they get a call that there's a situation on the Queensborough Bridge of an active firefight. And then we go to this. Do you remember this guy, that Uric, when from issue 154 or issue 155, where Spider-Man got his job back, and if you remember, he was sat down on that thing, and that guy called Uric walked past, and he was like, "Hey, have you had a haircut?" and all this. This is him, and by the way, he looks kind of like he's gone to shit a bit, doesn't he? But he's basically an eyewitness to this Norman Osborn escaping from prison. And remember, nobody knew that Norman Osborn was alive, so he's recording himself, and he's got a video and thing, and he's saying how much Jameson's gonna love him for this. And then we go back to Sinister Six, and they actually take shelter at some sort of crib, which looks pretty sick. And then they turn on TV and they see that there's a superhero war going on the Queensborough Bridge, and that here's Norman Osborn naked again. I don't honestly see how he's comfortable in that environment, but whatever. But Norman Osborn is saying that it's really good because this way S.H.I.E.L.D. is occupied, and then the Sinister Six can have a head start from everybody else. And I don't know why, but Norman Osborn is obsessed with God. Like here he says it's God's work. And this is where they make the decision to kill Peter Parker. Then we go back to Spider-Man, remember he's followed Captain America, and he's like on the wall, and he sees like all these explosions on the bridge. And then his phone starts ringing, and it turns out that it's MJ calling him on his cell. And she's saying, have you seen the news and all this? And she finds out that Norman Osborn isn't dead, and Octopus, Electro, and she refers to Sandman as the Sand Guy, have all escaped from Triskelion, and they're coming after Peter. So she's basically telling Peter that they're all gonna kill him, and that he's got to go and save Aunt May and Gwen and his family and everything. And then at the bottom it says to be continued, and then the next issue is Spider-Man leaning against his grave, basically. So yeah, I loved the front cover on this issue, to be honest. Like just the way as I did say at the beginning, how his suit shines and all this on the light, and just how vibrant the colours are. And the story is actually quite good, because just how the relationship between Peter and MJ, remember about the phone and how they didn't pick it up and everything, that's great. So I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Watch out for issue 157, which will probably be up later today. So thanks for watching, and remember to like, comment and subscribe, and see you later.